We are all aware that hybrid vehicles are a fantastic way to include your eco-friendly driving habits into your daily commute. They offer a way to get around that is good for the environment. Most of us also know that hybrid cars are usually very good at using gas, which saves a lot of money at the gas station. But how do hybrid cars really work? A hybrid car is a smart mix of a car that runs on both gasoline and electricity. Gasoline cars are convenient. Toyota hybrids combine the power of gasoline engines with the fuel savings of electric motors. This gives you lower emissions without having to wait for the battery to charge. Toyota, a big name in the car industry, is now planning to make light-duty fuel cell electric trucks. They hope to sell these trucks in Japan next year. One place where fuel cell vehicles could be used is in supermarkets and convenience stores, where light-duty trucks need to drive long distances for long hours to make multiple deliveries in one day, according to Toyota. The company also said that vehicles in this segment must be able to get gas quickly. The use of fuel cell technology, which runs on hydrogen with a high energy density and produces no CO2 while driving, is thought to be effective under these operating conditions, the report said. According to the company, light-duty fuel cell trucks will be used at distribution sites in Fukushima Prefecture and in other projects in Tokyo after January 2023. Hino Motors is part of the Toyota Group, and Isuzu, Toyota, and Hino started CJPT in 2021. Toyota has been working on making fuel cell cars since 1992. In these cars, hydrogen from a tank mixes with oxygen to make electricity. In 2014, it came out with the Mirai, a sedan that runs on hydrogen fuel cells. The company says that its fuel cell cars have tailpipes that let out nothing but water. In addition to the Mirai, Toyota has also helped make bigger hydrogen fuel cell cars. The Sora bus and prototypes of Het V-duty trucks are among these. Toyota is thinking about using hydrogen in internal combustion engines as well as fuel cells. Also, Suzuki, Daihatsu, Toyota, and CJPT say they plan to put battery-powered mini-commercial vehicles on the market in the 2023 fiscal year. The announcement said partners in social implementation projects in Fukushima Prefecture and Tokyo will use the mini-commercial van BEV that was made by these four companies. Toyota owns both Suzuki and Daihatsu. As of the end of March 2022, Toyota owned 4.9% of Suzuki. Toyota is known for its hybrid and hydrogen fuel cell cars, but it is also trying to make progress in the battery electric market, where companies like Tesla and Volkswagen are vying for position. There have been problems along the way. More than 2,000 of Toyota's BZ4X all-electric SUV were recalled for safety reasons in June 2022. As automakers prepared to release their first quarter sales numbers, Cox Automotive said it expects Toyota to show strong gains. And maybe even beat General Motors again for the quarterly U.S. crown. It's a close race that GM has always won with ease. The Japanese automaker now has better access to semiconductors, which is one reason for the change. When unemployment is low and there aren't enough cars for everyone, more chips mean more production, inventory, and sales. Another reason is that Toyota makes all kinds of hybrid electric cars at a time when gas prices are at an all-time high, averaging well over $4 a gallon. Toyotas plan to move slowly into electric cars while betting big on hybrids, which are very fuel efficient but still use gas, is working. Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the resulting rise in energy prices show that many people won't be willing to pay high prices at the pump until EV are more widely available and cheaper. A Prius Prime hybrid gets 54 miles to the gallon and costs less than $30,000 to start. A roomier Toyota Venza begins at around $35,000 and gets over 40 mpg. Those are good features for people in the middle class who want to save money on gas. This doesn't mean that more people aren't interested in electric vehicle now that gas is so expensive. Tesla is also expected to keep making a lot of sales, and websites that sell cars show that more and more people are looking at electric vehicles. But there aren't many fully electric cars on the US market, and the ones that are there are very expensive, other than the Chevrolet Bolt, which starts at $33,500 and just went back into production after a bad recall. There aren't any EV that come close to the prices of Toyota's hybrids. Volkswagen Volkswagen's cheapest ID.4 costs more than $40,000, ID.4 costs more than $40,000, as do Kia's EV6 and Hyundai's Ioniq 5, and their base battery options give them less than 300 miles of range. Starting price for Tesla's Model 3 is now $47,000. When car companies saw Tesla's growth, they jumped into electric vehicles and stopped making hybrids. They are no longer made by GM. In the long run, that is the right thing to do. But if geopolitics stays the same and energy prices stay unstable, hybrids will be a popular choice for people who can't yet afford an electric vehicle. Auto Forecast Solutions says that hybrids made up 7.5% of sales in the US last year. This is more than double the market share of electric vehicles. This year, both groups are almost certain to grow. Toyota didn't switch to battery-powered cars right away because it thought that most people couldn't afford them yet. In December, the company said it would invest about $35 billion to build 30 electric vehicles by the end of the decade. Ford and GM have both said that they will spend that much by 2025. Last year, Toyota's director Shigeaki Teraishi said that it was too soon to focus on only electric vehicles. Critics of the company may have thought he was a Luddite at the time. He looks pretty smart right now. Since the Nissan Leaf and Tesla Model S came out in 2010 and 2012, respectively, battery-powered electric vehicles have become the main focus of the auto industry. This structural change is happening at a very fast rate. In 2021, China sold 3 million BEV, up from 1 million the year before. In the US, on the other hand, sales of models are expected to double by 2024. The International Energy Agency says that the auto industry will need 30 times more minerals per year in order to meet global climate goals. Many worry that this could make it hard to get enough. How does hydrogen fuel cell work? Fuel cell electric vehicle are a type of electric car that doesn't make any pollution, aside from the environmental cost of production. The main difference is that BEV store electricity in a large battery, while fuel cell EV use a hydrogen fuel cell to make their own electricity. Let's talk about what the main parts of an fuel cell EV do. Battery. First is the lithium-ion battery, which stores electricity to power the electric motor. The battery in a fuel cell EV is smaller because it is not the main source of power. In general, the Model S Plaid has 7,920 lithium-ion cells, while the Toyota Mirai fuel cell EV only has 330. Hydrogen fuel tank. In a fuel cell EV fuel tank, hydrogen is stored as a gas. Liquid hydrogen can't be used because it needs temperatures of 150 or 238 degrees Fahrenheit to stay liquid. The two things that go into a hydrogen fuel cell are hydrogen gas and oxygen. Stack of fuel cells and motor. Hydrogen gas is used to make electricity in the fuel cell. In simple terms, hydrogen gas moves through the cell and splits into protons and electrons. Electrolytes are either liquids or gels that allow protons to move through them. Electrons can't make their way through the electrolyte, so they go around it. This makes a current of electricity that runs the motor. Exhaust. At the end of the fuel cell's process, electrons and protons combine with oxygen. This starts a chemical reaction that makes H2O, or water, which comes out of the exhaust pipe. There are a few problems that keep fuel cell EV from being widely used. One is performance in the car, but it's not a big deal. The best fuel cell EV, the Toyota Mirai, had a range of 402 miles, while the best BEV, the Lucid Air, had a range of 505 miles. The problem with hydrogen's efficiency and the fact that there aren't many places to fill up are the two biggest problems. The US Department of Energy says that there are only 48 hydrogen stations in the whole country. 47 of these stations are in California and one is in Hawaii. On the other hand, BEV can be charged at home or at one of the 49,210 charging stations across the country. This number is likely to go up because the Biden administration has given $5 billion to the states so they can expand their charging networks. So, what are your thoughts about Toyota's new approach towards hybrid engines? Tell us in comments. Thanks for watching.